I'm excited to show you what you stand to get from the classroom feature. So let's take a look at it. You click on the classroom menu and right away you get to see all the subjects available to you. So these are all the subjects currently available within the classroom feature. So you have English, counter, Greek, and the likes. So you can instantly see that all the completion level is what you have on the right side. So at the moment, for almost all the subjects, I've not actually started any of them except for math and physics, where I have 1% for math and 5% for physics. What this implies is I've my completion level in physics is 5%. Okay, so that was the first thing you should notice. So the other thing is there's a menu here that allows you to select your subject combination. So let's say you are only interested in the following subjects: English, chemistry, and math and physics. You select those and you click on OK. So now here are my four subject combinations. So the next thing is to dive right into any of the subjects. So in this case, I'm interested in physics. So let me pick physics. So now within physics, you can see that I have the notes right in front of me. Now, if you want to see all the topics that are available within physics, you click either on this top bar or you click on this topics button at the bottom left corner. Once you do that, you get to see all the topics. So here are the topics currently available within the physics classroom. These topics are based on the JAM syllabus. We've actually covered all the topics within the JAM syllabus. And you can see that at the very top you have mechanics. So the blue text indicates the units. So we have mechanics, we have wave, we have thermodynamics, and so on and so forth. So below the blue color text, you have the actual topic. That's the main topic. Then under that main topic, we have the subtopics. So for example, in the case of motion, we have motion as a subtopic, we have velocity and acceleration, and so on and so forth. So these are the topics available to you. So you can go right into any of the topics. So I can pick, let's say, velocity, and I dive right into the notes that relates to velocity. Now you can see that the note is here, but in case you want to zoom in, you can zoom in to whatever degree you want. So the zooming is just infinite, right? You can zoom into whatever level that you desire, and you can pan the notes to make it very easy for you to see any aspect of the notes. So that's how convenient it is. Then you can use the slider to slide very quickly to any part of the notes. So that's how flexible and very easy and convenient it is to use the notes. Then what other thing can you do here? You can also notice that once you keep reading the notes, the completion level of that note will always reflect once you check the topic. So in this case, I've completed projectile motion, I've completed laws of motion, and I'm about to complete the velocity and acceleration. So what that means is the app tracks your performance and tracks your usage. So once you scroll, it checks if you've actually checked every page. And the moment it discovers that you've actually visited every page, then it marks that topic as being completed. As in this case, you can see that velocity and acceleration is marked as completed. Okay, so what other thing can I do right here? I can talk to the AI tutor. So let's say I have a question as follows. So here I'm studying velocity and acceleration. So let's say I have this question. If velocity is rate of change of speed with respect to time, and acceleration is rate of change of velocity with time, what then is the rate of change of acceleration with respect to time?
The rate of change of acceleration with respect to time is called the jerk. It represents how quickly the acceleration is changing over time.
I can filter the notes by class. So let's say you happen to be an SS1 or SS2 student. You can filter by your class. You can say, okay, now I want to see all topics related to SS1. And once you do that, if you check this place, you will see that it has filtered out some topics that are not for SS1 students. Then you can also do the same thing. So I can filter by SS3 or SS2. So in this case, I'll filter by SS2 and let me filter by SS3. So SS3, if you do that, you will see that we have only SS3 nodes. So that's one interesting feature because if you happen to be SS1 or SS2 student using this app, you may want to focus on just the topics that are relevant to your class, and this feature is quite useful for you. Okay. Another interesting feature is if you happen to log out of a particular class. So as in this case, I'm out of physics. And let's say I want to resume my study. Once I click on physics, it continues right from where I stopped. So the app keeps track of the last note that I visited and also the current page that I'm reading. So this enables me to just continue from where I stopped without having to remember where I stopped. So this is a very interesting feature. Then you can also view your progress report. So in this case, if I click on this three dots, you can view my progress report. So this progress report gives me a detailed breakdown of how I'm performing. So my completion level overall is 6%. Then how many lecture notes or files have I completed? 9%, which is 4 out of 44. Then how many tests or exercises have I taken? 0%. Then it also keeps track of my first attempt score overall and my best attempt score. Then it also keeps track of the total number of pages that I've viewed so that I get to know, okay, I've visited, in this case, I've viewed 41 pages out of 415 pages altogether. So what this implies is our physics lecture notes consist of notes in which all the total number of pages amount to 415. Then it also keeps track of the time spent. So far I've spent 15 minutes, 4 seconds perusing the materials, and my active time spent is 4 minutes. So the difference between active and total is it entails or involves the time spent actively checking the notes. So once I, let's say, open another app, I'm no longer viewing the notes. So the app knows that I'm no longer viewing the notes. So it keeps track of when I'm active and when I'm inactive. And that helps me to know my level of seriousness. Okay, so and I can share the notes to WhatsApp and to other apps, right? Okay, now let's move on to another interesting feature here. Let's take a look at the exercise for each of this topic. Every topic has an exercise. And the goal of the exercise is to enable you gain mastery of that topic by testing yourself, right? So let's take a question. Let's go for this exercise. Application of lenses. So I'm going to take a test and let's see what happens. Note that the way the test is structured, you've got 10 questions altogether. 5 questions will be objective questions, then 5 questions subjective. Subjective meaning fill in the gaps. Then you have 10 minutes altogether, then the obtainable mark is 10%, is 10 marks, and the pass mark is 80%. What 80% means is if you score less than 80%, you will not be shown any correction. You will only be told your score, but no correction will be shown to you, and will not also tell you the question you got rightly or correctly. So the goal is to enable you to attempt the exercise over time, several times, so that you gain mastery. So let's start. So in this case, the question says, what type of image does a compound microscope produce? Well, I can guess or I can ask the AI tutor. So the AI tutor is there to help you figure out the answer in case you are struggling. But the AI tutor is not there to give you any direct answer. So let's check it out. So let's say I ask the AI tutor, please provide me the answer.
Hi, Daniel. I see that you're working on a quiz question about compound microscopes. However, as your personal tutor, I won't provide you with a direct answer. Instead, I'll guide you through the process of figuring it out. Are you ready to give it a try?
Yes, I'm ready. Can you guide me?
Great. Let's start by analyzing the question together. The question asks, what type of image does a compound microscope produce? To answer this, we need to understand how a compound microscope works and what happens to the image form. Do you remember what a compound microscope is used for and how it functions?
I can't fully remember how a compound microscope is formed or how it works. Can you help me with that?
Of course, I can help you with that. A compound microscope is a type of microscope that uses multiple lenses to magnify small objects. It consists of an objective lens and an eyepiece lens. The objective lens is closer to the object being viewed, while the eyepiece lens is closer to the eye. When light passes through the object being viewed, it is refracted bent by the objective lens. This creates a magnified and inverted, upside-down, real image. The eyepiece lens then further magnifies this image, allowing us to see it clearly. Now, let's think about the options given in the question. We have option A real, magnified and upright. Option B real, diminished and inverted. Option C virtual, magnified and inverted. Option D virtual, diminished and upright. Based on what we discussed about compound microscopes, can you eliminate any options?
I know option B and D cannot be correct because the image is always enlarged and they are not diminished.
That's a great observation, Daniel. You're absolutely right. In a compound microscope, the image is always magnified, not diminished. So we can eliminate option B. Now, let's focus.
I'm also eliminating option D because option D has diminished.
That's correct, Daniel. Option D mentions that the image is virtual and diminished. However, as we discussed earlier, the image formed by a compound microscope is always magnified, not diminished. So we can eliminate option D as well. Now we have two options left. Option A real, magnified and upright. Option C virtual, magnified and inverted. Let's focus on the orientation of the image. Is the image formed by a compound microscope upright or inverted? Think about how the image appears when you look through a compound microscope. Does it look the same way as the actual object, or?
Okay, thank you for this process.
You're welcome, Daniel. I'm glad I could help you through the process of figuring out the answer. Remember, understanding the concepts and reasoning through the options is a great way to approach quiz questions. If you have any more questions or need assistance with any other quiz questions, don't hesitate to ask. Good luck with the rest of your quiz, and keep up the great work.